Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Bold and beautiful today. Still, the man who had always been a source of both conspiracy and comfort in his life was no longer the Dylan he allowed. He knew. He was gaping at Luna. If he couldn't relatively process what his eyes were telling him, Dylan, I've always known it was you. And the words sounded to hang in the air like a lifeline, a ground across times of secrets and misconstructions, and Luna's lips bucket, her eyes glistering with gashes of relief and conditional stopgap, because eventually, after times of query, her verity was out in the open, her identity no longer a shadowed secret but a participated reality, and the room, formerly filled with pressure and unbelief, now sounded to breathe with possibility as the Forresters, always dramatic, always emotionally charged, watched the unfolding moment with bated breath, realizing that in the high-stakes world of fashion, love, and family conspiracy, nothing was ever endless, yet some trueness formerly revealed could alter the course of every life involved. And RJ, standing there, his heart pounding, his mind still recycling the full magnitude of the disclosure, knew one thing with imperturbable certainty: Luna, in whatever form she chose to present herself, was the same soul he'd always known, and now, further than ever, he was determined to stand by her, to understand the trip she had endured, to navigate the complicated maze of family responses, societal prospects, and particular passions, because the bold and the beautiful had no way been about ordinary stories, and this disclosure of Luna's true identity, the unearthing of Dylan as someone he was not, was the kind of earth-shattering, life-altering twist that the Forrester heritage thrived on, and as the occasion unfolded, observers at home would hyperventilate, rewind, and scream at the screen, charmed by the intensity of emotion, the complexity of character, and the sheer unpredictability of the story. Because in a world where love could be tested by falsehoods, deception, and secrets, RJ and Luna's connection stood as a lamp of stopgap, proving that indeed amidst the chaos, indeed when individualities were concealed and trueness buried, the heart could fate what the mind plotted to comprehend, and in that charged, dramatic, indelible moment, a new chapter began at Forrester Creations, one filled with conspiracy, redemption, love, and the inarguable verity that occasionally, the person you suppose you know is hiding a reality more astonishing than you ever imagined. And as RJ took Luna's hand, the room held its collaborative breath, the pressure and expectation creaking like electricity in the air. And everyone, from Brooke to Ridge to Steffi, knew that the disclosure of Luna's true identity would ripple through every relationship, every business decision, every rumored discussion in Los Angeles high society, because secrets this big do stay retired. And the bold and the beautiful had just delivered a twist that would be flashed back for times, a moment when love, identity, and courage collided in the most shocking, heart-wrenching, hugely indelible way, leaving RJ and Luna ever changed, their bond solidified, their futures uncertain but incontrovertibly intertwined, as the cameras condemned over stupefied faces, silent gasps, and tearful eyes, and the followership, fused to the screen, knew that nothing, and no bone, would ever be the same again. The moment after RJ's words hung in the air was electric, charged with a pressure so thick it felt nearly physical, like the room itself was holding its breath, and Luna's eyes, wide and shimmering, met RJ's as a flood tide of emotion poured across her face. Relief, fear, stopgap, and the quiet exhilaration of eventually being seen for who she truly was. And yet, indeed, as her hand rested tentatively in RJ's, the room was alive with whispers, gasps, and the sharp input of breath from the Forresters who had gathered, each recycling the disclosure in their own way, because in Los Angeles, in the spangling, ruthless world of fashion and high society, secrets had a way of exploding at the worst possible moment, and now the very foundation of trust within the Forrester family was jiggling under the weight of Luna's secret identity, the disclosure that Dylan had no way been Dylan at all but had been Luna, each along shaking everyone to their core. Brooke, her face a admixture of shock and defensive instinct, took a step forward, her voice sharp yet pulsing as she demanded, "Luna, is this true? You've been hiding all this from us?" And Luna swallowed hard, her throat tight, but the courage that had carried her through times of concealment refused to falter, and she jounced, her voice breaking slightly as she said, "Yes, Brooke, I had to. I didn't want anyone to get hurt, and I didn't want the verity to jeopardize anyone." And Steffi, always fierce, her eyebrows knitted in a blend of confusion and unbelief, leaned against the wall, arms crossed, trying to reuse the fact that the friend she had commended in, the supporter she had reckoned on, The Dylan she had grown near to over the times, was now revealed to be someone entirely different, someone with a history so complex and dangerous that it had needed surgical metamorphosis, chicane, and a continuance of careful maneuvering, and Ridge, ever the protection of his family, felt his jaw strain, a storm of feelings swirling inside him, part wrathfulness at the deception, part admiration for the frippery it must have taken, and part anxiety for how this disclosure would ripple through the intricate web of business, love, and social alliances that defined the Forrester conglomerate, while Liam, standing at the edge of the room, gripped his fists, his mind contending with questions about how this would affect everyone he watched about. And yet indeed in the chaos, RJ and Luna's connection radiated with inarguable intensity, a tether of trust and recognition that no secret, no surgical metamorphosis could ramify, and as the room erupted into a blend of enterprise, whispers, and stunned silence, Luna began to relate the story of her exposure, the shadowy pitfalls that had forced her into caching, the meticulous process of reconstructing her identity, and the moments of loneliness and peril that had accompanied her every step, painting a pictorial picture of a life lived in the perimeters, of secrets born out of necessity, and the Forresters, habituated to drama but infrequently brazened with a verity this particular and shocking, could slightly contain their responses, each scuffling with the counter-accusations, each trying to attune the Luna they allowed. They knew with the Luna standing bravely in front of them, her aspect unwavering despite the graveness of the disclosure, and as she spoke, RJ felt a swell of empathy and admiration, his heart swelling with love for the courage she had displayed, and he stepped closer, brushing a slapdash beachfront of hair from her face, his voice steady and firm despite the tumult inside him. "Luna, you've been through so important. But I see you. All of you. And I'm not going anywhere." And the sincerity in his words sounded to still the room, creating a moment of fragile peace amidst the storm, a brief interim where the mortal heart, raw and unguarded, could connect across the abysms of times of deception, fear, and craving. And as Brooke, Ridge, and Steffi sluggishly absorbed the disclosure, the dynamics of family fidelity, love, and trust began to shift. Subtle ganders changed, reluctant way forward, conditional gestures of acceptance. Because in the world of the Forresters, indeed the most explosive secrets could ultimately pave the way for conciliation. Handed the bonds were strong enough, and Luna, seeing both the fragility and eventuality of the moment, took a deep breath and participated details that had long been buried: the enciphered dispatches, the aliases, the near misses with peril, the moments when she had nearly been discovered, and the reasons she had kept RJ, and by extension the Forresters, in the dark, all the while hoping to cover them. And as the narrative unfolded, the room converted into a theater of empathy, shock, and admiration, each listener brazen not just with the non-fictional verity but with the emotional weight it carried, the offerings made, the pitfalls endured, and the humanity behind the facade. And Steffi, who had always valued honesty and strength, eventually let her arms fall to her sides, her expression softening, and muttered nearly to herself, "I can't believe she did all this for us." While Ridge, ever the strategist, considered the counter-accusations for Forrester creations, realizing that Luna's chops, sapience, and adaptability could be an unanticipated asset in both business and family matters. Indeed, as he scuffled with passions of treason at the long concealment, and Brooke, her motherly instincts remonstrating in, approached Luna sluggishly, her eyes glistering, a hand resting smoothly on Luna's shoulder, offering a gesture of acceptance and protection, saying, "You're safe then now, Luna, and we'll figure this out together." And RJ, feeling the room shift from chaos to conservative understanding, looked into Luna's eyes and felt the implied pledge that whatever came next, they would face it side by side, their connection no longer simply fellowship or affection, but a profound acknowledgement of participated history, peril, and the unbreakable thread that linked them across time, lies, and individualities, while the cameras, always present in the high drama world of fashion and TV, sounded nearly to pause, landing every nuance, every expression, every twinkle, because moments like this were rare and intoxicating in the Forrester macrocosm, a perfect storm of verity, emotion, and disclosure that would dominate exchanges, social media, and magazine captions for weeks to come. And as Luna continued, she revealed the inner battles she had fought, the loneliness of caching, the fear of rejection, the courage it had taken to present herself again, and the constant balancing act of guarding those she loved while remaining unnoticeable to the pitfalls that had pursued her relentlessly. And RJ, whose admiration had grown into admiration, felt his heart swell with a fierce determination to shield her now, to help her reclaim her life, and to stand as a substantiation to her verity, icing that no one's deception could dwindle the person she had fought to come. And as the room sluggishly acclimated to the reality, exchanges shifted, alliances subtly reconfigured, and the Forresters began to plan, bandy, and map how to integrate Luna's return into the family, their business, and their lives, understanding that in a world erected on image, character, and influence, her identity disclosure wasn't just particular, it was seismic, able of reshaping connections, commercial opinions, and social comprehensions. And yet amidst all the strategic considerations, RJ and Luna's particular story remained the emotional core, the beating heart of the unfolding drama, as they participated quiet, intimate moments amidst the chaos, brooding solace, moping traces, and conditional grins, a silent language of love and trust that had survived times of deception, and indeed as questions dallied, how the public would reply, how old alliances might deteriorate, how adversaries might seize on vulnerabilities, the inarguable verity of their bond radiated outward, touching everyone in the room, softening indeed the hardest hearts. And as the day turned to evening, the golden Los Angeles light streaming through the office windows sounded to spotlight Luna, pressing not just her beauty but the strength, adaptability, and authenticity that had always defined her, while RJ, standing steadfastly by her side, felt a swell of purpose, knowing that the trip ahead would be fraught with challenges, conspiracy, and emotional turbulence, but that together, they could navigate every storm, face every consequence, and defy every hidden trouble with courage and concinnity. And as whispers of Luna's story began to circulate beyond the walls of Forrester Creations, through gossip, social media, and assiduity interposers, the public seductiveness grew, fueled by the dramatic disclosure, the compelling narrative of metamorphosis, courage, and concealed identity, while inside the office the Forresters, for the first time in times, endured a moment of authentic connection, witnessing not just a shocking twist but the profound mortal verity behind it. That identity, love, and adaptability aren't defined by appearances but by the choices, offerings, and courage of the person beneath the face. And as night descended over Los Angeles, the office lights casting long murk across the sketches and fashion prototypes, RJ and Luna stood together, hand in hand, feeling the weight of the once lift slightly in the knowledge that the verity had been revealed, trust had been tested and reaffirmed, and a new chapter, filled with possibilities, conciliation, and the pledge of facing the future together was beginning, while the rest of the Forresters sluggishly gathered around, participating quiet grins, conditional solace, and subtle nods, understanding that Luna's return wasn't simply a plot twist but a catalyst for mending, growth, and renewed family bonds. And as the camera pulled back, landing the tableau of shock, admiration, relief, and conditional stopgap, the followership was left with a pictorial, indelible image: RJ and Luna standing united, the personification of verity, courage, and love in a world that frequently thrived on deception, conspiracy, and drama. A memorial that indeed, amidst the gaudiness, glamour, and grim twists of the bold and the beautiful, the most important stories are those of the heart. And as the screen faded to black, the pressure, excitement, and emotional resonance dallied, a pledge that the drama was far from over, that alliances would be tested, hearts would be challenged, and the enduring bond between RJ and Luna would remain a central, infectious force in the unfolding saga of Forrester Creations, landing observers' attention, feelings, and imaginations, and icing that Luna's shocking metamorphosis and the disclosure of her true identity would echo in the minds of suckers, tattling characters, and the fashion world likewise for occurrences, weeks, and conceivably seasons to come, solidifying this plot as one of the most memorable, enterprising, and heart-wrenching twists in Bold and the Beautiful history. A story that proves that love, identity, and courage can survive indeed the most elaborate deceptions, and that the mortal heart, once it recognizes the verity, is able of embracing, forgiving, and thriving in ways that no outside appearance could ever completely reveal. Dylan's whole new life falls apart when the truth comes out. Miss Dylan got very lucky on the Bold and the Beautiful when she hit Luna Nozawa with her car that night. What if she was not telling the whole truth about hitting Will Spencer's girlfriend with her car? Dylan's story of going from poor to rich on the Bold and the Beautiful depends on her being the one who hit Luna Nozawa with her car. What if she was not the one who did it? The Bold and the Beautiful and Dylan's new life are all based on her hitting Luna Nozawa. What if that was not what really happened? Dylan's perfect new world, on The Bold and the Beautiful is based on her being the driver who hit Luna Nozawa. Here is what is happening week on the CBS soap. Spoilers are down below. Miss Dillon hits the lottery. Viewers are learning more about Miss Dillon, and to be honest, her story is really sad. You have to feel sorry for Miss Dillon. She is a girl with no friends or family, and she was living in her car. Miss Dillon was also dealing with the things that happened to her when she was held hostage by Luna, and this happened when Miss Dillon was working as an art teacher at night. The Bold and the Beautiful fans should be cheering for Dillon. She has a great story going on, like something out of a fairy tale. It is hard to like Dillon when she is hiding things from everyone. There are rumors that Dillon might be related to Sheila. Maybe she is her lost daughter, or maybe she is a distant cousin of the Forrester family. The Forrester family and Will Spencer Jr. are being very nice to Dillon. They are giving her lots of gifts and a place to stay. They even gave her a job at Forrester Creations. What if Dillon's secret is not that exciting? What if it is something simple? It's almost like they are paying her for hitting and killing Luna and solving all of their problems. Could Dillon have taken credit for crashing into Luna because she knew she would hit paydirt? Is Dillon a con artist? Dillon has clearly been on her own for a while, which means she's capable of a lot more than we think. Could she have just been driving that night and witnessed the accident and decided to confess to get on the Forresters' good side? Katie Logan Spencer is really excited. She has a fashion house. It is finally happening. This is because Eric Forrester is helping her. He is going to be the designer for Katie Logan Spencer. Katie Logan Spencer is very happy about this. Donna Logan Forrester wants to talk to Katie Logan Spencer about something. Will Spencer is worried about his job. He is scared that something bad will happen to his career. Katie Logan Spencer has a lot to look forward to. Her fashion house is becoming a reality. Eric Forrester is helping her. Katie Logan Spencer is getting everything she needs to make her fashion house successful. From a preview clip for Week, it looks like Eric is really upset about stopping work. The man wants to show Rich Forrester and Brooke Logan Forrester that he still matters. Eric is going to make sure Rich Forrester and Brooke Logan Forrester see what he can do. Katie and Bill Spencer are very happy about Eric's offer to help Katie. Bill Spencer is excited to see the look on Rich Forrester's face when he finds out what is happening. Meanwhile, Will is very proud of his mom for all the things she is going to do. Will thinks his mom is great. He knows she will do a good job. Eric's retirement is not going to stop him from doing what he wants to do. Will is getting worried about what will happen to his job at Forrester Creations because of the fashion house. He knows he can always go work for his parents if he needs to. Will really likes working at Forrester Creations. Will just got a promotion, so he must be doing something at Forrester Creations. Donna Logan Forrester is feeling the pressure. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the episode say that Donna Logan Forrester just found out about the deal between Katie and Eric. This is news for Donna Logan Forrester and Forrester Creations. Eric wants Donna to keep this a secret. Donna thinks this is really exciting for Eric. She is worried that Brooke will find out and get the wrong idea. Donna is going to ask Katie to tell Brooke what is going on. Katie would really like to tell Brooke to see the look on her face, but she promised Eric she would not say anything. I do not think Katie will tell Brooke anything until she really has to, because Katie told Eric she would keep the secret and Katie will keep her promise to Eric. RJ Forrester's discovery. As for RJ, he seems to have a crush on Elektra. Despite having the same name, Ridge explained that the two are not blood related. In any case, Elektra seems to have a crush on him too. The only problem is that Elektra is dating Will. RJ will find out that Elektra is already taken. However, will he respect that or become fixated? As the evening wore on and the city lights of Los Angeles glittered through the tall windows of Forrester Creations, the room settled into a tense but hopeful quiet, the kind of charged stillness that follows an emotional earthquake, where every person present, RJ, Luna, Brooke, Ridge, Steffi, Liam and even Carter, who had just arrived sensing something was amiss, felt the gravity of the revelation settle over them, and Luna, still holding RJ's hand, drew strength from his unwavering presence, feeling the years of secrecy, fear, and isolation slowly lift as she realized she was no longer alone in her truth, while RJ, his eyes never leaving hers, whispered almost reverently, "We'll face this together, Luna. No matter what comes next, I'm with you." And the sincerity of his words created a fragile bridge of trust that reached across every doubt, every unspoken